तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Southern Division. Up till now, we have completed the Southern Division Vibhav, which went on for a discussion of 25 sessions. Vibhav is one of the biggest one. And after discussing Vibhav, we had an overview of Vibhav in 3 classes. And then we had the discussion on Anubhav. And Anubhav was for 2 classes. And after Anubhav, we had the discussion of uh, Satvik Bhav, the Ashta Satvik Vikars, the Satvik Bhav discussion we had. And after Satvik Bhav discussion was over, now it is the fourth which is to be discussed. That is the Vyabhicari Bhav. Now, Vyabhicari Bhav is a very, very important Samagri Bhav among the, Samagris. The Samagris are four, Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, and Sanchari Bhav. And the main ingredient is the Stahi Bhav. I hope devotees who have been attending now regularly Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Southern Division are very, very familiar with these terminologies and even the concepts and even the definitions. So today we will be beginning with Vibhav, Vyabhichari Bhav. And this is also one of the most lengthiest discussions in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Practically, it will require, I presume, around 20 sessions to complete this. So, roughly around, say, less than 2 months, we should be completing it, and we will go systematically and slowly. by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will try to complete this and the next one. So before I begin discussing Vyabhicari Bhav, I would like to offer invocation prayer, which is part of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Eastern Division. हृदयस्य प्रेरणा प्रवृत्तोऽहं वराकरूपोऽपि तस्य हरेर्पदकमलं वन्दे चैतन्यदेवस्य. So this is a very, very beautiful verse in the part of the Mangala Charan. Let me see if I can locate that verse for you all and read the translation. Let me check. Rupa Goswami, before beginning to describe this work, he offers his Mangala Charan in a few verses. And the first verse is the Vastu Nirdesh, where he describes the Vastu which he's going to describe. That is the Vastu is Akila Rasamrit Murti. But in the second verse, he offers this prayer. Hridayasya preraya pravrittoham varakarupopi tasya hare padakamalam vande chaitanya devasya. I offer my respects one day unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Chaitanya Devasya. Though I am vile person by nature, Varaka Rupapi, I have undertaken this work by inspiration within my heart. Hridayasya Preranaya Prabhrittoham. Tasya Hare Padakamalam. I offer my respects to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who is come in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by the inspiration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who inspired Rupa Goswami in the heart, and Srila Prabhupada, we are taking up this Herculean task of studying the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Southern Division. So I offer my respects to all the Vaishnava Acharyas in the Guru Shish Parampara, beginning from Prabhupada, and the present Acharyas, and all the Vaishnavas assembled in this forum, and those who are not in this forum, and to all the Vaishnavas in this entire creation, that they bless us, that we can study Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Okay, so let's now go to the fourth wave, which is Vyabhicari Bhav. This is the southern section of the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Now, in the textbook itself, which is translated by Bhanu Maharaj, what are the topics which will be discussed in Vyabhicari Bhav? The definition of Vyabhicari Bhav, the enumeration of 33 Vyabhicari Bhavs, examples of Vyabhicari Bhavs from different causes, and the causes and effects of Vyabhicari Bhavs. Then types of Vyabhicari Bhavs. Paratantra, dependent on Rati in a devotee. This is Vara, superior. Sakshat, related to primary Rati. And Vyavahita, related to secondary. And Avara, inferior, caused by an Rati, not related to Krishna in a devotee. So all this we will see. So within Paratantra, there is the superior and the inferior. And within the superior, there is Sakshat and Vyavahita. And then there is Swatantra, indirect relation to Rati and devotees. Then there is Rati Shunya, Rati Anusparshena, Rati Gandha. So we will all see this. In impure devotees with Chaya Rati, Rati Shunya, it is Swatantra. In a devotee with genuine Rati, not related to Krishna, in devotees with Rati, indirectly related to Krishna. Then Vyabhichari Abhas, Pratikul in hostile persons, and Anuchitya in objects incapable of rasa, Asatya in plants, Ayoga in animals. Then stages of Vyabhichari Bhavs, Utpatti, Sandhi, Sabhalya, Shant, and then varieties of mind which affect the strength of Vyabhichari Bhavs. Repressive, Garishta, Gambhira, Mahishta, and Karkasha, hard. heavy, deep, expansive, and hard. Then receptive, lagishta, utthana on the surface, shodishta, small, and then komal, soft. So these are the topics we'll be discussing. So it's a vast discussion. So let's begin again by discussing what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has to say in the Jaiva Dharma, chapter 27, further considerations of Rasa Tattva. Let's go into that. Now, if you remember, we have been bit by bit, as we are discussing the southern division components of Rasa, we have been discussing the Jaiva Dharma also simultaneously to get a better understanding and insight of what Rupa Goswami is saying in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, you remember that the whole discussion is between Vajranab and Vijay with the Goswami, Gopal Guru Goswami. And then this discussion is happening in Puri. And we discussed Vibhav, we discussed uh, Anubhav and Satviki Bhav. So what now Vajranath is saying is here, Vibhav, Anubhav and Satvik Bhav are now clearer to us than ever. I hope it is also clear to you all now. We have understood the differences between Anubhav and Satvik Bhav. Okay, anyone will tell me what is the difference between Anubhav and Satvik Bhav? Anyone knows? What is the difference between Anubhav and Satvik Bhav? Just want to test how far you have understood this subject. Sri Lalita Mataji, what is the difference between Anubhav and Satvik Bhav?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Anubhav, you told that you're responding when Krishna is coming, running. That time, Yashoda Mata stretches her arms so that he can hug her,
Yeah.
hug. Yeah, that is the physical response. That is Anubhav.
Uh-huh. Then what is Satviki
And
Bhav?
Satviki Bhav is involuntary.
Yes. Anubhavas are the emotions of the chitta. Chitta means the soul here, which manifest externally in the body, but they are voluntary. There is the involvement of the intelligence. Like there is love in the heart and it is expressed by opening of the arms to embrace. Whereas the Satviki Bhavas are involuntary. These are also external symptoms which manifest, but they are involuntary, like hair standing on end. So these are the Ashta Satvik Vikars. So that is the difference between Anubhava and Satviki Bhavas. Excellent. Okay, let me share the screen. Yeah. So we have understood the difference between Anubhava and Satvikas. Kindly explaining the remaining Samagri Bhav, which is known as Vyabhicari Bhav, aggressive ecstasy. So this is called as aggressive ecstasy, and Prabhupada uses the same term in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in his English equivalent as Vyabhichari Bhav. So kindly explain the remaining Samagri Bhav. So there is only one remaining Samagri Bhav now, that is Vyabhichari Bhav. Whereas Tahi Bhav is not called as a Samagri Bhav. It is the prominent Bhav. When there is Tahi Bhav, when Savi Bhav combines with the samagris, Vibhav, Anubhav, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav or Sanchari Bhav, then it gives rise to Rasa. I hope it is clear. Goswami, this is Gopal Guru. All in all, there are 33 Vyabhichari Bhav. V means specifically, Abhi means towards, and Chari means moving. So why this is termed as Vyabhichari Bhav? V means specific and Abhi means towards. Abhimukha, like Abhinandan, like that. Abhi has different meanings. Follow also it can mean, but towards. And Chari means moving. Charan karna, Chari moving. They are called Vyabhicharis because they specifically move towards and nourish Tahi Bhav. So the Vyabhichari Bhavs, they specifically move towards the Sthai Bhav and nourish the Sthai Bhav. As they Sancharita travel throughout the body, mind, and words, They are also referred as Sanchari Bhavs. Sancharan, Sanchalan in Hindi we say, na? So, since they travel throughout the body, mind, and words, they are called as Sanchari Bhavs. So, there is another name for Vyabhicari Bhav, which is called as Sanchari Bhav. They are waves that arise from the nectarian ocean of the Sahi Bhav, causing it to swell before they return to their source. So, in the ocean, there are waves. The waves are part of the ocean. That's the natural state of the ocean. But when there are high waves going up and they come down, so that high wave is, it embellishes further the oceans, you know, beauty. So similarly, the beauty of Vatsalya Ras is heightened. It goes to an height in certain situations, and then it comes down, but it further, embellishes and nourishes the Sahi Bhav. And that is why they are called as Vyabhichari Bhavs. Prabhupada translates in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as transient emotions or aggressive ecstasy, as it is mentioned. The 33 Vyabhichari Bhavs, bodily symptoms which manifest in ecstatic love, are as follows. So these are the 33 symptoms, sorry. Nirveda, indifference; Vishada, moroseness; Dainya, meekness; Glani, a feeling that one is in faulty position. This is called as Glani. Shama, fatigue; madness, mother, madness; Garva, pride. Now, these are all spiritual emotions, and this is a very, very important topic for devotees. Please try to attend these discussions and try to understand all these emotions, because these are all spiritual emotions in relation to the soul and the supreme soul. But these are also the emotions in the material world which we experience, which bind the conditioned soul. And as long as we are not free from these material emotions, we cannot enter into the spiritual emotions of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So that's why devotees should understand these Vyabhichari Bhavs very, very thoroughly and clearly. Shanka, doubt; Tras, shock; Avega, intense emotion; Unmada, craziness; Apasmara, forgetfulness; Vyadi, disease; Moha, bewilderment; Vritti, death; Alasya, laziness; Jad, invalidity; Vridha, shame; Avahitta, concealment; Smriti, remembrance; Vitarka, argument; Chinta, contemplation; Mati, attention; Dhriti, forbearance; Harsha, jubilation; Autsukya, eagerness, or Autkanta, we say; Augra, violence; Amarsha, anger; Asuya, Anusuya, we say, na? Asuya, jealousy; Chapalya, impudence; Nidra, sleep; Supti, deep sleep; and Prabodh, awakening. So, how this is all Vyabhichari Bhavs? Once we start studying Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, each of the definitions will be there. There'll be a lot of scriptural quotations. All that will make it more clear. There are two groups of Sanchari Bhav: Swatantra, independent, and Paratantra, dependent. Dependent Sanchari Bhav is further divided into Vara, favorable, and Avara, unfavorable. Vara is divided into Sakshat, direct, and Vyavahita, indirect. Swatantra Sanchari Bhav is divided into three: Rati Shunya, without Rati, love; Rati Anusparsha, touching Rati; and Rati Gandha, flavored with Rati. So we already saw in the contents, table of contents, that all this is there. So not much is discussed here. Now further, as the Jaiva Dharma discussion happens, as we study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I'll bring out. But a little bit of the, what is that Vyabhichari? Vyabhichari Vishesha Abhichara or Sancharita, Sanchari Bhavas. So that's what, and these are the 32, and there are these two groups in it. Okay. Okay, so now let's come to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. अत उच्यन्ते त्रयस्त्रिंशद् भावा ये व्यभिचारिण Visheshabhimukhena charanti stayinam prati. Atha, hereafter, the 33 Vyabhichari bhavs will be described. Trayas Trimshat. Trayas means three, Trimsha means Trimshat means 30. So 33. Bhava Uchchate. We will describe these Vyabhichari bhavs which are 33. They are called Vyabhichari bhavs. Ye Vyabhicharina, since they move Charanti against the Stahi bhav. Charanti Stahinam Prati, while assisting in its distinctive way. Visheshena Abhimukhena. So this was what exactly also Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke. So this is the definition of Vyabhichari Bhav. Okay, text 2. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Southern Division, fourth wave, text 2. Bhag Anga Sat Socha Geyaste Vyabhicharina Sancharayanti Bhavasya Gatim Sancharinopi. The Vyabhichari Bhavs reveal themselves. Geyaste Vyabhicharina. How? By words, vag, by eyebrows and other bodily parts, anga, and by external actions, anubhavas, which arise from overwhelming emotions, sattva sucha. Since they set in motion, sancharayati, the course of stahi bhav, bhavasya gatim, they are called sanchari bhav, sancharinopi. So, the Vyabhichari bhavs reveal themselves how? By words. When you have love in the heart and when you speak from the heart, those words, those emotions are coming from the heart and through the mouth, and when they are heard, they actually have an effect. And then the emotions of the heart can be expressed through eyebrows, other bodily parts. And then there are anubhavas. Now, you might ask, Arey, then what is the difference between anubhavas and Vyabhichari bhavas? Now, again, I'll give you the difference. It's a regular day when the Godhuli is there, and Mother Yashoda's Tahi Bhav is getting activated. Oh, Krishna is going to come because she's seeing the sunset and the Godhuli. She's not yet seen Krishna. And then Krishna is with his cowherd friends dancing and playing his flute, surrounded by his Gopa Vrinder. So he's, from far, Yashodama is saying, and her Stahi Bhav swells up. And then, as a result of that Stahi Bhav, she opens her arms to embrace Krishna as Krishna comes nearby. So that is the Anubhav. But that same mother Yashoda, when she hears the news that Krishna is under the coils of Kalia, she runs because she has love for Krishna. And then Balram is there. Balram knows who is Krishna. But her Stahi Bhav goes to an height and she's lifting her arms. Oh Krishna, and she's ready to give her life now, seeing Krishna in the calls. So her opening of the arms now is also Anubhav, but it is because of the Vyabhichari bhav. So that is the difference. Okay. And since they set in motion the course of the Stahi bhav, they are called as Sanchari bhavs. Okay, there is a note here. The section on Satviki bhavs explained that Satvik bhavs arise solely from deep emotions and Anubhavs arise from deep emotions with the addition of intellect as well. So now also you know this difference, and I hope it is very clear also now. Okay, so this is text 2. Okay. In the description of the various Vyabhichari bhavs, some of them are described as producing Satvik bhavs, such as tears or hair standing on it, and some produce Anubhavs, such as dancing. So I mentioned, like Mother Yashoda is seeing Krishna in the coils of Kalia, and she's crying. So these are Satvik bhavs, and she's, lifting her arms, ready to collapse or, jump in the Yamuna. So these are Anubhavas. So like that, it can, these Vyabhichari bhavs Some of them are described to be producing Satviki Bhavas, sometimes they produce Anubhavas. That would mean that the Vyabhicari produces Sattva, deep emotions, which then produces a Sattvic Bhav. The external symptoms of Satviki Bhavs are sometimes called as Anubhav, aspect of Satviki. Sometimes, yeah, it is the Anubhav aspect of Satviki Bhav. Okay, so that was all the footnote, please remember. Now, Jeev Goswami's commentary. I'll take this commentary and then take the questions. Anga refers to the eyebrows and other body parts. Sattva refers to Anubhavas, external symptoms, which arise from Sattvas, emotions that overwhelm the heart. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a little elaborate commentary on this. The first verse explains the derivation of the word Vyabhichari Bhav by analyzing the components of the word. V stands for Vishesh, Abhi stands for Abhimukhya, and Char stands for Charanti. Thus, it means that those bhavas which move Charanti against the Stahi Bhav, while nourishing it in a special way, Vishesha Abhimukhena, and are known by words, bodily movements, qualities of the mind, Sattva. Qualities of the mind, bodily movements, and by words. These bhavas are also called Sanchari bhavas. This word is also given a meaning by analyzing these components. So you can sancharayati iti sanchari bhav, like that. Okay, Lalita Mataji, Sri Lalita Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mhm.
I just had a doubt that Vyabhicari, that Bhava, what you told, like when you told he's on the Kaliya and Yashoda Maya is raising her hands. She's that raising because of emotion is out of helplessness or thinking that she can protect. What is the emotion?
No, basically, her Vatsalya Bhav, her love for Krishna has gone to a height because she's now seeing Krishna is in a dangerous position. And she is wants to protect Krishna and she wants to go and jump in the Yamuna. Balram is holding. So these emotions are there. There are various types of emotions which are happening. But the point what I wanted to stress is that her raising of the arms is not in the general situation which happens every day evening. She's now also raising her arms, but that is because of it is produced by Vyabhichari Bhav and not directly by Anubhav. That was the point. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. I thought that emotion is, I mean, that voluntary action is based on an emotion.
Yes, that voluntary action is based
What
on
that
the
emotion
emotion,
was,
but
I
that
wanted to
emotion
understand.
is not coming
Important.
directly following the Vibhav and as Anubhav, but it is coming from the Vyabhichari Bhav because of seeing Krishna in the coils of
Okay.
Kaliya.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Up till now, any other questions anyone else also has? We're just on the definition of uh, Vyabhichari Bhav. Yes, Bir Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, bro, Danutna. Oh, just one clarification. In Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, it says that bhava which move against the sthai bhava.
Yeah,
What does it exactly mean to against the sthai while nursing in special way?
yeah, this also, I was also meditating. It's, you know, according to my understanding, I can also ask some of the senior devotees and especially Bhanu Maharaj, like regularly in the ocean, there are waves which are coming in a particular direction. But the tsunami wave is one is of a very high height and it is like going against the natural current of the ocean. So similarly, these Vyabhichari bhavs, in one sense, they go against the Stahi bhav. They go against the Stahi bhav, but in a deeper sense, it nourishes the Sai Bhav in the Bhakti Ras because the Bhakti Ras is eternal. Because the soul is eternal, the Supreme Soul is eternal, and they are the eternal bodies. Spiritual bodies are reciprocating rasa. Now, take the same example in the material rasas between the hero and heroine. When the hero or the heroine is caught by the villain, you know, the Stahi Bhava Vatsalya bus is going against now. You can see it is going against. And ultimately, if see, in no movie it happens that the hero is killed or the heroine is killed. But when they are killed, then the Stahi Bhav is gone. But here the point is that going against means the Vatsalya Ras is there, and because of the situation of the Vibhav in the particular context, the emotion, the Stahi Bhav goes to an height. It goes to an height. It goes against, but actually it embellishes the Stahi Bhav. It embellishes the Stahi Bhav.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions up till now? Okay. Let's go to text 3. Unmajjanti nibajjanti stayinya amritvarido varido urmivad vardhyante enam yanti tadrupatam chate. All the Vyabhicharis bhavs, they rising and falling, unnibajjanti nimajjanti, like waves, urmivad, in the sweet ocean, Amrit Vardino, of the Stahiba, Stahinya, increase the Stahiba, Vardantenam, and then merge into the Stahiba, Yanti Tad Rupatam Cha. Yeah, I explained this just now. So these Vyabhicharis bhavs rise up and they fall like the waves in the ocean. They rise up and fall in the ocean of which? Stahi Bhav. Stahi Bhav is that ocean. And they increase the Stahi Bhav. And the Vyabhichari Bhav merges into the Stahi Bhav. So when Krishna comes out the Kaliya coils, Mother Yashoda goes and embraces Krishna very tightly, So her Vatsalya Bhav gets more deeper. It increases, and it remains. And that Vatsalya affection, it heightens, goes to a different height now. So after the Vyabhichari Bhav has done his work, then that emotion is not there. It has merged in the Stahi Bhav. Just like the wave in the ocean, it's part of the ocean, but it rises up, but it looks different now. Oh, that's a high wave, you say. That's part of the water of the ocean. And when it comes back, it merges in the ocean. Now it's not a wave. So similarly, Vyabhichari Bhav does that. Okay. Let's see what Jiva Goswami has to say. This verse describes where the Vyabhichari bhavs appear and compares them to a familiar object. The two parts of the sentences are joined together as one statement. That's it, not much. Okay, now text 4 to 6 mention the 33 Vyabhichari bhavs. I'll just read the translation. The Vyabhichari bhavs are follow. Ata iti me bhava Vyabhicharinya samyakyatah. Self-disgust, nirvedo, remorse, vishado. Thinking oneself unqualified, dhanyam or deenata, debility, glani, mlani, fatigue, shamo, rapture, mother, pride, gaurav, apprehension, shanka, sudden fear, trasa, confusion of the mind, avega, insanity, unmada, epilepsy, apasmriti, sickness, tata vyadhi, loss of internal awareness, moha, death-like symptoms, mriti, sloth, alasam, indecision, jardium, shame, vrida, concealment, avahitya, cha, remembrance, smriti, conjuncture, vitarka, or conjunction is tarka vitarka, pondering, chinta, finding meaning through scriptural reference, mati. So you can see there is difference between sruti and mati. Steadiness, dritato, dritayo, joy, harsha, impatience, outsokyam, ferocity, augra, indignation, amarsha, that's anger, fault finding, anasuya, insolence, palle, sleep, chaiva nidracha, dreaming, suptir, and enlightenment, bodha. So all these are the Vyabhicari bhavs. Now, actually, the study of emotions is a, it's a very, very deep subject. And I'm also a preliminary student, I can say, in this field. And with the Association of Devotees, we'll be studying this and trying to understand. In the material realm also, there is a lot of study of emotions which is done, and how emotions affect the well-being of our physical and mental health, and it is very much related to spirituality. So, the emotions, they also have their classifications, and they have their different terminologies and their own definitions. But whatever Rup Goswami is describing, that is the highest and the most perfect understanding of the emotions. So let us go into each of these Vyabhichari bhavs and understand what exactly this emotion is. And when we study the scriptural references, it will become more clear. Okay, now Prabhupada begins in his summary study, chapter 21, expressions of love for Krishna. There are some bodily symptoms which express overwhelming ecstatic love, Vyabhichari bhav. They are counted as 33. So I'll not read this. Tatra nirvedah, self-disgust arising from great sorrow, maharti, suppression, viparayoga, hatred, arsha, or worrying about doing what should not be done, sad vivekadi kalpitam, or not doing what should be done, swava mananam evatra, is called nirveda. Nirveda iti katyate. In this state, worry, atrachinta, tears, ashru, change of color, vaivarnya, feeling of lack of qualities, dainya, and signing occur. Niswasitadaya. Now, first of all, you have to understand each of the definitions. Tatra nirveda. Maharti viparayog ashya sad vivekadi kalpitam swavamananam evatra nirveda iti katyate atra chintashru vaivarnya dainya nishwasitadaya. Self-disgust arising from great sorrow. Self-disgust. Nirveda can arise from great sorrow. Separation. Somebody dies. There is nirveda. Hatred. When you hate someone and you become indifferent to him, because internally you have that feeling, so you show indifference. And it can happen also worrying about doing what should not be done. Sad vivekadi kalpitam, or not doing what should be done. Oh, I should have done this, and why I did not do it. So all these emotions, what we are expressing or experiencing, this is called as nirveda. Nirveda iti katyate. And what happens when this particular emotion one is experiencing, chinta, in this state, worry, tears, separation. When there is separation, there are tears in the eyes, right? And when there is sorrow, there is tears in the eyes. There can be change of color, Vaivarna. Now, can you tell me these tears and Vaivarna, what bhavas are these? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. What bhavas are these? Raise your hands. I would like to. Tears and change of color, Vaivarna. Shri Lalita Mataji.
Hare, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think it is that Ashta Satviki Bhava,
Yeah.
trying and hair standing on end,
Yeah.
sweating,
These are
kampa.
called as Asht Sattvic Vikars, but what bhava it is among the four bhavas? There is Vibhava, Anubhava, Satviki Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav.
It's called Ashtasattviki Bhava only.
Yeah, but
Sattviki.
yeah, these are Satviki Bhavas. Within the Satviki Bhavas, there are the Ashtasatviki Bhavas. Okay.
Okay.
These are the
Okay.
Satviki Bhavas. So you can see here, Vyabhicari Bhav is producing what? Satviki Bhavs.
Yeah.
The Vyabhicari Bhavs can produce also Anubhavas, which we saw
Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope you are able to understand.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when we experience Nirveda because of sorrow, separation, hatred, or worrying about what should not be done, or not doing what should be done, then it is Nirveda. This state of emotion is Nirveda. And in that state, there is Chinta. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have done that. You Chinta, you do Chinta. And because of separation, you might be crying, or there might be change of color. Feeling lack of qualities, then you might have this Dainya Bhav also. And signing occur. Somebody has left near and dear, then Nishwas with Adi can happen. I hope you got the definition. Now there is no commentary. Let us see what Prabhupada is to say. Disappointment, Nirveda. When Ben is forced to act in a way which is forbidden, or to refrain from acting in a way which is proper, he becomes regretful and thinks himself dishonored. So, like I should have done that so that I could have done the work properly, and why did I not do that? So that emotion, what regret you feel, so that is Nirveda. At that time, there is a sense of disappointment. And in this kind of disappointment, one becomes full of anxiety, chinta, ashru, vaivarna, dainya, and niswasta. So Prabhupada is explaining the whole definition you can see here. Okay. Tatra mahaartya yata. Now please understand, from great sorrow, mahaartya. So we can see mahaartya vipare yoga. Vipare yoga means separation. So from great sorrow, Nirveda arises from great sorrow. So now Rup Goswami is giving an example of Nirved from great sorrow. I hope you are clear. Hanta deha hatike kim abibhi paliter vifala punya falerna ehi kalya harde vishavahano swam kutumbini hatthaj jivhavama. O Yashoda, what is to be gained? Kim ami bhi, from continuing to maintain paliter, this sinful vifala punyafaler, unfortunate body, hanta deha hatake. Come, we na will immediately offer our bodies. Swam kutumbina hat haj juha vama, in the lake of Kalia filled with the fire of poison. Ehi Kalia harve visha vano. So this was exactly the example I was giving. Now, they are facing great emotion of Nirveda, all the elderlies, including Mother Yashoda, and one of the elderly gopis is telling Mother Yashoda her emotions. What is to be gained now from continuing this sinful body, unfortunate body? Come, let us also offer our bodies in the lake of Kalia, because now Krishna is in the coils of Kalia and Krishna is seeing this. This is the emotion, uh, out of great sorrow, seeing Krishna in this condition. This is a classic example of Nirveda in great sorrow. Maha Arti, Artha, Arthi. Artho Jigyasu Artharthi. Arthi is one who is in distress. So all the elderly gopas, gopis, the Madhuri Ras gopis, the Sakya Ras friends, all are feeling this Artha, but each has different emotions based on their relationship with Krishna. For the mothers, it is their son. For the gopis, it is their lover. And for the Sakas, it is their friend. So these are the emotions, in the conjugal, not sorry, in the Vatsalarus being expressed here. Okay. In this verse, the plural is used for the dual. Nanda is speaking to Yashoda. Okay, this is not the Gopi speaking. This is Nanda speaking to Yashoda. This is according to the rule, some Paninian rule. When Krishna is punishing the Kalya serpent, appeared to have drowned himself in the poisonous water of the Yamuna, Nand Maharaj addressed Yashoda thus. My dear wife, Krishna has gone deep into the water, and so there is no longer any need to maintain our bodies, which are so full of sinful activities. Let us also enter the poisonous water of Yamuna and compensate for the sinful activities of our life. This is the instance of Shiva's shock wherein the devotee becomes greatly disappointed. I hope the example is very, very clear. Any questions you have up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Yes, Veera Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, when sometimes our devotional practice is not going proper, and we sometimes kind of regret feeling or something that appears in mind. So that can be fall in this category. I mean, Nirveda, can we say?
No, no, you have to understand that.
Right, right, right.
Here I would like to tell two things. The emotion is Nirveda. But how you process it? It is coming from the false ego. And that can take you deeper into ignorance. Arey, I'm like this only. I cannot really, come up to the standards. I've been trying. And you hammer yourself and you go down. Or that emotion, it is coming from the false ego, but you process it in a positive way. Yes, I have to transcend it. And I have to better my chanting. I have to better my, sadhana practices. So this kind of a, way of seeing it by resolving to transcend that. I told you, these emotions are the same emotions what we experience, but these are material emotions and they spring for the false ego. So one can, beat the ego and you go down, or the other can, purify the ego, why you can uplift yourself to transcend that emotion and go better in your practices. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a very, very nice question. Very important question you brought out. Any other questions? Shri Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then this verse can be a good example of, spiritual world is a perverted reflection of, because
Yes,
whatever
yes.
feelings we are having, Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
same feelings are there. Whatever
But
feelings.
theirs is in the mode of sattvic and ours is more in the mode of like a passion or ignorance.
Pardon?
Their mood is different, because ours is in the mode of ignorance or like that. No, Prabhuji, it's perverted reflection.
Yeah,
The
but
things are the same, but what we are going through is for our own selfishness, and that is for.
yeah, those emotions are transcendental.
Huh.
These emotions are material. Again, the modes will vary, definitely, on the matter of passion, ignorance, or goodness. But they are the perverted emotions, what we experience. So there are emotions which spring from the soul and the emotions which spring from the mind. And here it means, the ahankar.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's now go to the next one now. First one was due to Artha, Maha Artha, great sorrow, and Viparayogena, because of separation. Asangaman Madhava Madurinam Apushpite Nirasatam Prayate Vrindavane Shriyate Hakuta So Pranitya apunya subalo dvirepaha. Without the presence of asangamam, sweetness of Madhav Madurinam, Vrindavan became withered. Vrindavane Shriyate Ha. Without charm, nirastam, and devoid of flowers, apushpite prayate. How does this unfortunate kuto aso apunya strong bee subalo dvirepa is the bee, subalo means very strong, continue to live pranitye? So Krishna has left Vrindavan, and out of separation, maybe the gopis in their madness are speaking, you know, that without the presence of the sweetness of Madhav, Vrindavan has become withered. Without his charm, there is no, without charm and devoid of the flowers. How then this unfortunate strong bee still is continuing to live? When Krishna left Vrindavan, Subala, his intimate friend, decided to leave also. While leaving, Subala was contemplating that without Krishna, there was no longer any pleasure to be found in Vrindavan. So here Subala is translated as the strong bee, but Prabhupada is speaking about Subala. I'll let us see what the analogy is given, that as the bees go away from a flower that has no honey, Subala left Vrindavan when he found there was no longer any relishable transcendental pleasure there. Subalo Dvirepa. So that's how the analogy is. Very, very, very poetic, very wonderful. So just like when there is a flower and there is no honey, so the bees don't go there. So similarly, Subala, Dvirepa, Subala doesn't want to be in Vrindavan because the Madhur honey of Krishna's beauty is not there in Vrindavan now. Okay, there's another example. Yatava Dana Keli Kaumudyam. Bhavantu Madhavajalpam Ashrunavata Shravanayor Alam Ashravanair Mama Tam Avalikayator Avalio Chane Saki Vilokachanayas Cha Kilanayo. Again, I'm not so good in reciting because usually it's a little difficult to recite the Kavya if you are not very familiar and if you're not reading directly in Sanskrit. O Saki, without hearing the words of Madhav, Bhavantu Madhava Jalpam Ashunata, my ears, Mama Shravanayor, may as well become deaf. Alam Ashravaner. Without seeing the form of Madhav, Tam Avalikayatayor, my eyes, Vilochanayascha, may as well become blind. Avilochane Kilanayo. So this is how the Saki is expressing. The form Ashravaniya comes from the rule Akrosha Nan Yani. This is some Sanskrit. In Dan Keli Kaumadi, Srimati Radharani addresses one of her friends in this manner. My dear friend, if I cannot hear the glorious activities of Krishna, it is better for me to become deaf. And because I am not unable to see him, it would be good for me to become a blind woman. This is another instance of disappointment due to separation from Krishna. Ishaya yata harivamshe satyadevi vakyam stottavya yadi tavatsa naradena tavagratah durbhagoyam janastatra kim artam anushabdita. From anger, Irshaya, in the words of Satyabhama, Harivamsha. O Krishna, if Narad is praising Stotavya Yadi Naradina, Rukmini, Sa, in front of you, Tava Agrata Tavat, he is calling upon Tam Artham Anushabdita, her a misfortune similar to mine. Durbhago Yam Janastatra. Now, I don't know exactly the instance, the whole discussion, what is happening in Harivamsha, where Satyabhama is telling this to Krishna. Oh Krishna, if Narad is praising Rukmini in front of you, he is calling upon her a misfortune similar to mine. Now let us see if there is in the commentary some explanation. Sa refers to Rukmini. I am Durbhaga means misfortune similar to Kamina. Okay, let's see. There is a statement in the Harivamsha where Satyabhama, one of the queens of Krishna in Dwarka, tells her husband, "My dear Krishna, since I have heard Narad glorifying Rukmini before you, I can understand that there is no need for any talking about myself." So Rukmini becomes angry, one wife. Krishna has many wives, and Rukmini is the chief. And Narad, you know, Satyabhama has heard Narad glorifying Rukmini, so she's becoming jealous. And this jealousy is out of anger, and this anger is out of love. You have to understand. This is a spiritual emotion which embellishes actually Krishna's rasa with Satyabhama. And that's why Satyabhama becoming angry also is giving pleasure to Krishna. Whereas in the material world, if somebody is having two wives and the husband glorifies the other wife, the wife who is hearing will become angry and jealous, and that will cause fight and can cause so many other emotions by which the whole rasa is destroyed. But there it relishes, and the rasa is enhanced in the spiritual world. This is an instance of disappointment caused by envy or jealousy. Rukmini and Satyabhama were co-wives, and because Krishna was husband of both, there was naturally some feminine envy between them. But this is, to uh, give rasa more to Krishna. But in the material world, as I mentioned, this causes, to break the rasa. So when Satyabhama heard the glories of Rukmini, she was envious of her and thus become disappointed. Okay. Sad vivekena yata Shri Dashami. मम ईश कालोजित निष्फलो गतो राजश्रियन्नद्य मदस्य भूपते मर्त्यात्मबुद्धे सुतधारकोशभूषु आसज्जमानस्य दुरन्तचिन्तया. Excuse me. Ugh. True discrimination, Sad Vivekena, from the 10th canto, Sri Dashami. I have wasted all this time. Mama Isha Kalo Nishfalagato, O unconquerable one, Ajita, becoming more and more intoxicated in my domain and opulence. Raja Shri Unnadya Madasya. As a earthly king, Bhupate, misidentifying the mortal body as the self. Martyatma Buddhe, become attached to children, Suta, wives, Dara, treasury, Kosh, and land, Bushu. I suffered endless anxiety. Asajjamanasya duranta chintaya. One of my known friends who is a very big businessman, and he is into construction company, and it involves a lot of anxieties dealing with land, mafia sometimes, harassment from politicians. So he was expressing once to me that since I've taken it to Krishna consciousness, there's no much anxiety. But when I was in material life, there was so much anxiety with all these problems. So similarly, there is a Nirveda expressed by a king. Now, who is this king? Let us see. It is in the 10th canto, 51st chapter, that will refer to, I think, Muchukunda in his prayers. Let us see. It is whether Muchukunda in his prayers. 10th canto, chapter 51. Yes. 10th canto 51 is Muchukunda. Yeah. It's Muchukunda. In the 10th canto, 51st chapter, verse 41 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a statement. My dear Krishna, I cannot say that it is only other people who are implicated in material existence because I am too much entangled in the bodily concept of life. I am always too anxious about my family, home, wife, wealth, land, and kingdom. And because I have been maddened by this material atmosphere, I am thinking now that my life has been simply spoiled. This statement is an instance of disappointment caused by lamentation. Okay, exactly by whom it is not mentioned. Now there is further explanation of this Sad Vivekena, which is a scriptural reference. This is further explanation. Amangalam api procha nirvedam pratamam muni Menemum stainam shanta iti jalpanti kechana. Though it is inauspicious, amangalamapi, Bharat Muni has mentioned Muni Procha Nirveda as the first Vyabhicari Bhav, Nirvedam Pratamam, since it is the Stahi Bhav Shantras. Mene mum Stahinam Shanta. This is the opinion of some persons. Iti Jalpanti Kechana. This is mentioned again in 3.150. In 3 is eastern, southern, western wave. Western wave will deal with Shantras, Dasiraks, Sakyaras, Vatsal, and Madhurya. Five waves are there. And the first means Shant. So in Shantras, again, in the discussion of Shantras, this will be again mentioned. That's the point. The author considers the Stahi Bhav of Shantras to be Shantrati. That Nirved is stated first here is merely confirming to Bharat Muni's exposition on the subject. Bharat Muni is also who wrote the Natya Shastras, where he has expressed the material emotions in all the dramas. So Rup Goswami took the same thing and showed how this is there in Krishna Leela, and that's what he composed the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So because Bharat Muni has mentioned this as the first, so that's why Rup Goswami also placed it as first. Now, Vishnu Chakata, since Nirved is an inauspicious emotion, why it has been considered first in the list? This verse answers. Bharat Muni has placed it first, considering it to be the Stahi Bhav of Shantaras. That is, though it appears inauspicious, it is suitable to be placed first because of its prominence as a Stahi Bhav as well. Now, in this work, it is placed simply to conform to Bharat Muni's exposition of the subject. Now, Prabhupada, according to Bharat Muni, this disappointment is inauspicious, but there are other learned scholars who have accepted such disappointment as being the mood of neutrality, Shantras, and as being a preservative of ecstatic love. That's it. Now, I would like to make an important point here before I complete the discussion is when one is attracted to material emotions in the world and he relishes material emotions, he only gets misery. Now, when he becomes detached, it's like, you're in Shantras. And Nirved, you become indifferent to it, to the material emotions. Your, children might ask you, who are grown up, satisfy, do this work for me. Now we are indifferent to those emotions because now you're becoming more attracted to do spiritual activities. So like that, it is in between. It is in between. That is why categorized in the Shantaras, Nirveda. Although it is amangalam, it is inauspicious emotion. But since it is a part of Shantaratri, that's why, and it is placed first by Bharat Muni. So that's why Rup Goswami has discussed this first. So this is where we'll end our discussion for today, and we'll continue this discussion in the next week. So any questions, any further clarification anyone has up till now, what we have discussed? Okay, so then we will end for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Shri Rup Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.